My name is John, yeah.
John West.
John Patrick West, yeah.
And your age?
I am 72 next birthday.
And your height?
5'7.5". I was 5'9" when I started squatting, but now I'm 5'7.5".
And what sort of weight classes have you competed in?
90, 100, 110.
And your normal occupation, apart from your training, is?
I'm a semi-retired truck driver for 50 years, yeah.
And how many years have you been training?
Powerlifting, 40 years. Sport, general sport, since 1949.
And if you had a favourite TV show or a film, what would those two things be if you had them?
I would say it was John Wayne and The Quiet Man.
And if you had hobbies outside of training, if you have any, what sort of hobbies have you got?
The occasional beer, we have some athletics when I have a bit of hammer throwing, but not so much now. Watching documentaries on television, yes, about it.
And briefly tell us a bit about yourself and your sort of where you were born and.
I was born and bred in Tallow, County Waterford. Moved to Tramore in 52. Went to Christian Brothers School. When I was in Tallow, I was taught by that great football legend Ned Power, come from Dungarvan, and he is now obviously passed away, but he's still a legend in the county of Waterford. Obviously, people are into Gaelic games, and I got a lot of inspiration. And when my father died in 1951, I learned a lot from him. Mr. Power, yes.
And your best lifts, what would your best lifts be, in both in terms of your poundage and in terms of what your favourite lifts actually are?
All my best lifts were actually done in my 50s, at 52, 53. At the World Open Championships in Derby in 1990, I lifted in the World Open class, got third place. I squatted 275, bench 157, and deadlifted 282. But my best ever lifts were probably 277 squat, 162 bench, and a 286 deadlift.
And what titles have you held or do you hold?
The top of my head, I would think I've had 12 to 14 world titles at different age and weight groups. Two senior European titles, 15 European titles, numerous British champion. Forgetting I was in my 40s when I was lifting in the seniors. Yes.
And how long have you been powerlifting?
About coming up to 40 years now.
And what other sports have you done apart from powerlifting?
I've done a boxer. I was a boxer for 15 years. I've done sprinting when I was in school. I played Gaelic football for Tramore at Christian Brothers. I've done tug of war at international level. I've done athletics, mostly hammer at club, inter-county, the club, and Olympic lifting. I've done a bit of Olympic lifting to improve my hammer throwing.
And how important are training partners to you?
Very important. People have to rely on. There's no point of going to a gym when you want to attempt. Like this morning, I've had on a Sunday morning, I've had two good spotters here. And I wouldn't have done it if it had been like every Tom, Dick and Harry in the gym. You can't rely on them. So training spotters and training partners are very important.
Good. And how did you become a powerlifter, having had a background in so many other sports?
I was mostly hammer thrower back in the 70s, and then I ruptured the Achilles tendon in 1977. And I went back to hammer throwing, but I didn't improve. I lost my confidence on my thumbs, so I decided to be powerlifter. So I more or less, I kept trying and doing it involved with athletics, but the powerlifting, and the challenge, just the challenge to get more weight up, increase my weight.
What are the biggest mistakes that beginners make in powerlifting?
I think possibly I would say they come into the gym, they don't warm up, they do any stretching for the sake of about a 5-minute, 10-minute warm up. They can spend 6 months on the sideline, getting injured, and also they do lots of reps They do lots of reps, 8s and 10s, far too long. You know, you need to get yourself together after about 3 or 4, at least 6 months, and then you would then increase it down to 5s, increase the weight, and just keep the reps low, but not, you know, heavy. You're only going to get strong by lifting heavy weights.
And what's the craziest thing you've seen in powerlifting?
Oh, all sorts of, you know, when I've been spotting guys, I've had guys throw the weight off of their shoulder, you know, with 250 kilos. I'm doing a 250 kilo curl. Somebody trying to put weight back, trying to catch it. Maybe somebody with which came back to spotters. Some guy dropping a weight. The spotters not looking where they are, they're looking at their friends across in the audience, and 140 kilos come down somebody's jaw. Yeah, very painful.
And what do you think are the most important factors when it comes to raising your lifts or upping the poundage?
Yeah, like I said previously, as I said, when you are training and you just want to stick on 9 to 8s and 10s, 8s and 10s are okay when you're starting off. You had a long period, you had 3 or 4 weeks away. You can, but I think you need to be sticking on 5s and 6s and a 12 in competition. A build up to competition would be ideally 12 weeks for routines, you know. And I would think, you know, the most important thing is the weight, that you don't get too heavy too quickly. So you just build up, you do like a pyramid system.
And you're a champion lifter. What do you think separates the average lifter from yourself as a champion in terms of either training or psychologically or what?
A lot of it, people are obviously naturally strong. We're all gifted with some sort of natural strength, and we just got to use it if we got it. Some people come, you know, it comes naturally with a lot of people, and then you have to think about, oh, am I training too hard, and maybe not, and yes, I would think and motivation. You've got, I mean, there was a time I walked away if you can't get motivated, and also if you feel as if like you're getting stale, and they say you just walk away. Just walk away for a week.
And you just spoke there about overtraining. Is it a real threat, or is it just something that's overhyped or misunderstood? No,
it's I just hype it. It's, as I said, if you feel as if you've overtrained and you feel tired and you just have a fortnight off completely, just go away, chill out, and come back, and maybe a week to 10 days, not more than 10 days, and then come back and you feel quite a new man.
I know you have a background in Olympic lifting too, John, but what would your favourite lift be? Either powerlifting, I would assume? I
would say the squat and bench. Right. Sorry, I beg your pardon, squat and deadlift. Bench, I've never, because of my injuries, you know, I've been dogged with injuries all my life, yeah. That was my...
So if that's the case, how did you keep motivated to continue to work hard and make progress?
I would lift against younger generation, even my 40s. I lifted in the British Championships, and I won the British Championships at 42, beating somebody 20 years my junior. And I think when you're an older lifter and you lift against the younger people, it motivates you. You think, oh, well, you know, I'm not here to make the numbers up. I'm here to win, and this is what I've done.
And you said you've had some injuries. Is that the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And what injuries have you got? That's
well, there's more serious injuries. I've got busted knuckles from boxing that didn't affect my grip so much, but I've had a complete rupture of the tendon in 1977. I've had 2 arthroscopies. I've had a knee replacement 5 years ago. I now have a complete rupture of the bicep last year. I'm coming back after, this is my forthcoming competition on the World Championships in Antwerp, my first big competition for almost a year.
Very good. So you've overcome quite a few. You've obviously had some experience of lifting at different weight categories. How important is diet to you and what you eat?
Yeah, it doesn't say you can't have a fried breakfast every any day of the week, or not fried breakfast every day of the week. So you need to, and I recommend a lot of fruit, cereals, milk, fresh milk. I don't believe in skimmed milk. I only drink pure milk. I wouldn't recommend semi-skimmed milk to anybody. I would just like, if you're going to do a protein powder, which you don't always need, if you keep your diet to a restriction, I think you're okay.
And you obviously go to train. Where do you train, and how often do you train, John?
I train, this is my gym. I've been in this gym, St Soccer Youth Club in St Albans, Hertfordshire, and I had been here for almost 30 years. And all the roof is collapsing, but we don't care, we just train. And I got a great bunch of guys and girls all training here with me.
Good. And how would you summarise your training style and your training beliefs? What makes you sort of what you are as a champion? What's brought you to this stage now?
Yeah, I enjoy my sport. You have to enjoy it. There's no point in coming into a gym and you say, oh, I'm just here to have a chat and make the numbers up. You just train, and you train hard, and then you get results. Yeah.
This seems like quite a traditional gym in terms of it's a bit old school. It's got, as you say, a leaking roof, and you get water from the tap, and it doesn't seem to have any music playing. But if you had controls of the music in the gym, what would you do, and what would you play?
I would have a background music, just similar background. But I've never been a great one, but I have been to gyms where they just got head banging music, and saying that the music would just come on.
Yeah, it's playing your song. Go your own way, John. Is that your philosophy in life too?
Yeah.
So, if you were trying to fit training and dieting around your daily work, you must have made some sacrifices. What sort of sacrifices have you made to achieve your?
Yeah, when I was a married man and a family, I think I would have, not seen my children a lot of the time. Like being a truck driver, spending many days away and then dashing back, grabbing my bag, and and even when I used to do long haul trucks, I used to find gyms. So I would find gyms. I've trained in Scotland, England, Wales, Cornwall, everywhere, you name it. A lot of people do know me in those gyms, because I have actually found. You will find a gym anywhere in the country, and they will. So it can be quite interesting.
There was a rumour floating around that you used to have the weights in the back of your truck. Is that true?
I have carried weights in the back for somebody, but not specifically myself. I've had 500 or 600 kilos, but only doing somebody a favour.
If you were giving a tip to a young person starting out, aiming to build strength, what would that tip be?
I would say, find yourself a nice gym, obviously drug-free. Don't be call it into somebody just coming up, and obviously you will get it in gyms. Well, you get aggressive people. They will say to you, "Oh, you finished with the bar," and just say, "No, I'm still training." And then people will just say, "Well, and don't be put off by aggression. Or find yourself a new gym. Find somewhere where the drug-free. Don't just train in any gym you want to."
John, we were talking earlier. What really annoys you when you go to visit some other gyms?
Oh, finding weights or place dumbbells, you step back and having lots of accidents can be caused, or people just careless and just don't, and having to strip down weights other people which you use, and obviously the biggest one that obviously this day and age, with the stuff we have in mobile phones and it's plugged. People are just walking around the gyms. You say, "You finished with that?" And then why? He said, "No." The guy said, "No, you can't hear you because he's plugged in. He's got earplugs in his ears and mufflers on top of his head." It doesn't like me.
Right. So we've spoken a bit about your career in the gym, and but in your life generally, what's made the biggest impact and made you the man you are today?
Oh, possibly. My father probably was. My father died when I was 9 years of age, and I was stuck with a family with my brothers and sisters. And and coming to England at 14 years of age, not knowing anybody, coming to work in 1956, coming to live in England and on my own, and finding myself in my life, and like we did in the 50s. Lots of my generation, we have the forgotten 50s people. We just left Ireland in the 50s, but there was no work in Ireland. And this, I think that was an achievement for me, yeah.
So you've been involved in lots of different things in terms of your training and in terms of your career. We'll get to the last question in a few minutes, which will be asking you about the impact you've had on Irish powerlifting. But just a few quick ones here, just to finish up. What's the best thing you've ever bought?
Ooh, I do like my photography. Probably a good camera. Forget about the cars, but I'll do like a nice good. I've had nice cameras when I've been abroad. Yeah.
Okay, and your favourite food?
Favourite food? Oh, I would think white pudding, black pudding, lamb, and lamb roast potatoes and cabbage. I just love my cabbage. Okay. I just like my greens.
And describe your perfect day.
Oh, a good workout, shower, probably a cup of scotch, and obviously a bit of banter when we get to the gym. Yeah, bit of banter. Especially with my particular gym I've been interviewed at the moment. This is my class.
Good. And now we're really going to the sort of the nub of why we're interviewing you. You've had a very influential impact on Irish drug-free powerlifting. Can you give us a bit of background into your input into this association?
Yeah, contrary to the fact that people think the Irish powerlifting started in '98, it didn't. I represented Ireland in France, myself and Brian Forbes, my fellow lifter. It was just that we were the actual powerlifting team, although the IDFPA didn't come as an association. We didn't have a name there, we were just the Irish Association. And Brian Forbes and I lifted in Meaux, in Paris, in 89-90 season, and we took 2 bronze medals in the open class. And I would think, and then the association went on from there. I just went down to different clubs. I seen guys named. I said, where's your background? Like people like Mark Lane, who's who's obviously everybody knows, a drug control officer. Yeah. So we recruited him. We just went on, and we just built up from there. So in fact, the Irish drug-free powerlifting actually started about 1990, way back.
And you've had various positions in that association. Can you just quickly enlighten us about a few of those? Well,
1991, I went to the first ever World Masters, which was the first ever World Masters. I lifted in the World Masters in 1991 in Minneapolis. I lifted in the first ever World Drug-Free Powerlifting Championships in '85 in Reading. But in 1991, I was the only lifter from Ireland. They asked for the president, the secretary, the coach, and the lifter. I think I was only one. So I finished up with so many pendants and medals and trophies, I couldn't even get them home. So I had all four positions. Yes, I've been their president, but obviously we've had people, other presidents have come along, and our president, I think the guy who is running it now, Tom Kyle, our president, he's done a very good job. Yeah, he's taken the reins when nobody wanted it. Yeah.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or is there anything that we missed out in this interview?
No, I think if everybody just wants to, I think the association, the Irish Powerlifting Association, is lovely taken off, but as I said before, don't go to a gym and be intimidated by somebody who is quite aggressive with drugs. You just find yourself another gym, and then just don't walk. Just try to run before you can walk. That's all. And hopefully, I think the Irish drug is actually growing. I just come back from Casablanca last month, and I thought it was brilliant. I think the association and the amount of young lifters, incredible. I was really proud of them. Really proud of these lifters, the young lads coming up. And yeah.
Thank you very much, John.
Woo!